During my trip to Japan, I asked a local car dealer something that had always puzzled me. How do your cars last so long? Some of them run perfectly for 20 or even 30 years, while in other countries people replace their cars every 5 or 6 years because they're basically falling apart. His answer stopped me cold. He said, "It's not magic. We just treat the car like a part of the family. You take care of your family every day, not only when they're sick." That sentence stuck in my mind. Right there, I understood the real reason Japanese cars live so long. It's not just about engineering, it's about attitude. They care for their cars the same way they care for their homes, their gardens, or even their traditions. Every little detail matters. Today, I'll share with you 10 Japanese habits that make their cars seem almost immortal. And I promise by the end, some of these will blow your mind. You'll wonder why the rest of the world hasn't adopted them yet. Habit number 10, the ritual of gentle warm-up. In many places, people start their cars, shift into gear, and hit the road right away, especially when they're in a hurry. But in Japan, mornings look a little different. There's something they call progressive warming. Now, this doesn't mean leaving the engine running for 15 minutes and wasting gas. It means giving the car a short moment to wake up, just enough time for oil to circulate and for the internal parts to reach a normal working temperature. Then, for the first few miles, they drive calmly. No heavy acceleration, no sudden braking. It's a habit that's been passed down from mechanics to drivers for generations. One Japanese engineer once told me, "Think of the engine like an athlete. If you make it sprint before warming up, it'll get injured. But if you let it stretch first, it will perform beautifully for years." And he was right. This small, patient habit is one of the main reasons so many Japanese cars easily pass 300,000 or even 400,000 miles without major repairs. They don't see warm-up time as a delay, they see it as a sign of respect. Even a basic economy car in Japan can last decades, simply because its owner follows this daily ritual. Habit number 9, oil changes, based on real use, not just the manual. Here's another big difference. In most places, drivers either stretch oil changes way too long or follow the manual word for word without thinking. But the Japanese, they rely on experience. They believe in better safe than sorry. If a car is driven mostly in the city, stopping, starting, idling in traffic, they'll change the oil early, even if the mileage doesn't say it's due. If the car spends most of its time cruising on highways, they might extend the interval slightly. It's all about adapting maintenance to real life. A mechanic in Nagoya once explained it perfectly. Oil is like the blood of a car. You wouldn't let dirty blood flow through your body, would you? That's why they don't wait until the oil turns black and thick like tar. They change it before it loses its protective power. Yes, they might spend a little more on oil every year, but they save thousands by avoiding engine damage. It's a simple calculation that many other countries just ignore. Habit number 8, weekly fluid checks. The car's health test. This one might sound extreme, but it's one of the smartest habits you'll ever hear. Most people only check fluids when a warning light pops up on the dashboard. In Japan, it's part of the weekly routine. They open the hood, check the coolant, brake fluid, and power steering levels, the same way you'd check if you still have milk in the fridge. It takes just a few minutes, but it can prevent disasters. A slightly low coolant level could warn you about a small leak before it turns into a blown engine. Cloudy brake fluid might tell you something's off before you lose braking power. Japanese owners do this even with new cars because they don't fully trust sensors, and they're right not to. Sensors fail more often than you'd think. One veteran mechanic told me, 9 out of 10 serious breakdowns could have been avoided if people just checked their fluids regularly. It may look obsessive, but that's exactly why Japanese cars outlive everyone else's. They never let a small issue grow into a big one. Habit number 7, the discipline that makes Japanese cars last forever. In many parts of the world, people wait for things to break before fixing them. In Japan, it's the opposite. They replace critical parts before failure ever happens. It might sound like an unnecessary expense, but for them, it's common sense. They see it as insurance for the car's life. Belts, pumps, tensioners, all of these are replaced at precise intervals, even if they still look fine. The same goes for batteries, hoses, and electrical parts. A shop owner in Tokyo once told me something I'll never forget. I'd rather have a customer complain that I replaced a working part too early than see him return with a destroyed engine because I didn't. That's the Japanese way. Prevention over repair. They know that one emergency repair can cost 10 times more than scheduled maintenance. What looks like overprotecting to outsiders is, in truth, discipline. And that discipline is what keeps their cars running strong for decades. Habit number 6. Full inspection. Every 10,000 miles down to the smallest screws. Here's something that'll surprise you. In Japan, every 10,000 miles or so, cars get a complete inspection. Not just a quick oil change or filter swap. Mechanics check everything. Screws, mounts, hoses, wiring, supports, and even the rubber pieces that reduce vibration. Their philosophy is simple. Any loose or damaged part, no matter how small, can lead to a major failure later on. Japanese mechanics have a saying, "A loose screw can kill an engine." And they mean it. A small vibration can loosen a mount. That loosened mount can damage a hose. That hose can leak, and the leak can ruin the entire engine. That's why they're meticulous. They don't wait for something to fail. They find it before it even has the chance. Many foreign car owners visiting Japan are shocked when they see this level of attention. Mechanics there find tiny issues that most shops elsewhere would never even think to look for. But that's the secret. Details keep the car alive. That obsession is why Japanese cars rarely die of sudden failures. By now you can already see their philosophy taking shape. They don't react to breakdowns, they prevent them with quiet, steady discipline. That discipline has made Japanese vehicles famous worldwide for reliability. And the best part, these habits don't require any special tools or secret technology. Anyone, anywhere, can apply them. But what comes next goes even deeper. Because now we'll explore the technical and electronic habits the Japanese use, ones that most of the world doesn't even know about. Habit number 5, the battery and ECU reset trick. Here's one that sounds almost like magic, but isn't. In many countries, the moment a warning light shows up on the dashboard, people rush to the repair shop. But in Japan, most drivers try something simple first, a battery and ECU reset. They disconnect the battery for a few minutes, then reconnect it. This resets the ECU, the car's main computer, clearing temporary errors caused by false readings. A mechanic in Tokyo told me that nearly 40% of warning lights could be fixed this way. No parts replaced, no shop visit needed. Think of it like restarting your phone when an app freezes. Sometimes all the system needs is a clean reboot. Of course, they don't use this trick carelessly. Before doing it, they quickly check under the hood to make sure there's no real mechanical issue. This simple reset saves time, prevents unnecessary repairs, and even helps electronics last longer by clearing out false codes. In Japan, they've turned this into a smart habit. Restart before replace. Habit number 4, cleaning electrical connectors to prevent ghost problems. Electrical problems can drive people crazy. Flickering lights, random warning codes, or sensors that stop working. Most countries only deal with this after years of wear. But in Japan, cleaning electrical connectors is a routine practice. They know that humidity, dust, and corrosion start attacking connectors from the very first day. So every few months, they unplug key connectors for sensors, coils, and control units. Clean them and apply a thin layer of dielectric grease. One mechanic from Osaka told me about a car that had a false ABS failure. In other countries, the owner would have been told to replace the entire module, costing hundreds of dollars. In Japan, they just clean the connector, problem solved in minutes. They treat the electrical system like a body's nervous system. If signals can't flow cleanly, everything gets confused. That's why this invisible habit, one almost nobody outside Japan follows, keeps their electronics healthy for decades. Habit number 3, throttle body recalibration, a tune-up. When a car starts idling roughly or hesitates when you press the gas, most drivers immediately assume the worst, maybe the fuel pump, maybe dirty injectors, or even a bad ECU. But in Japan, the first step is much simpler, recalibrating the throttle body. The throttle body controls how much air enters the engine. Over time, it collects oil residue and carbon deposits that mess with airflow. When that happens, the ECU, the car's computer, tries to adjust, but never quite gets it right. Japanese mechanics know this, so they clean and recalibrate the throttle body as part of regular maintenance before real problems appear. They remove it carefully, clean it, then perform an electronic adjustment so the ECU can relearn its proper position. The difference is instant. Idle becomes stable, the engine responds better, and fuel economy improves. Outside Japan, this is often ignored until the car starts running terribly, and by then people end up replacing parts that could have been saved. But for the Japanese, a quick throttle recalibration not only extends the life of the engine, it also reduces stress on the transmission and clutch. Because when the engine runs smoothly, every other component works easier too. It's a small, smart fix that keeps the whole system in harmony. Habit number 2, cleaning the MAF sensor, the forgotten key to efficiency. The MAF sensor, mass airflow sensor, is one of the most important parts in any modern car. It measures how much air the engine is breathing, so the ECU knows exactly how much fuel to inject. But here's the problem. Hardly anyone ever touches it. In many countries, drivers don't even know it exists until their car starts burning more fuel, losing power, or throwing warning lights. Japanese drivers, however, clean the sensor regularly. They use special sprays that remove tiny dirt particles without damaging the delicate element inside. It's a simple job that takes only minutes but can make a huge difference. A dirty MAF can cause the engine to use up to 20% more fuel, wear down pistons and valves faster, and even harm the catalytic converter. One mechanic from Kyoto gave a great example. Cleaning a MAF sensor is like cleaning your glasses. If they're dirty, everything looks blurry. Once you wipe them, everything becomes clear again. That's exactly what happens inside the engine. Once the sensor is clean, the whole system breathes and performs like new. The amazing part? Many Japanese car owners do this at home. It's as normal for them as washing their car. That's how they keep their engines running with that same factory smoothness, even after hundreds of thousands of miles. Habit number 1, injector cleaning. No shop visit needed. In most countries, injector cleaning is an expensive service done only when performance drops or fuel economy gets terrible. But in Japan, it's part of regular car care, and many owners do it themselves. They use high-quality fuel additives that clean the injectors while driving. These additives break down carbon deposits and keep the fuel spray pattern perfect, ensuring every drop burns efficiently. The trick is consistency. They don't wait for rough idling or poor mileage. They use these cleaners periodically, even when the car feels fine. Some mechanics even use portable machines that feed cleaning fluid directly into the injectors, without removing them from the engine. It's fast, affordable, and keeps the system spotless. Because of this, Japanese engines rarely suffer from clogged injectors, even after 60,000 or 100,000 miles, while cars elsewhere struggle much sooner. Their logic is simple. If the engine breathes clean air and gets clean fuel, it will live longer. It's like giving your car vitamins before it gets sick, instead of medicine after. At this point, you can already see a clear pattern. Every habit comes down to respect, patience, and prevention. The Japanese don't wait for a part to fail. They give it the care it needs to never reach that point. And that mindset saves them thousands of dollars and decades of reliability. Japanese car longevity isn't magic, it's discipline. It's the result of hundreds of small, thoughtful actions repeated with consistency and care. They treat machines like living things, needing balance, routine, and understanding. Every check, every cleaning, every idle minute reflects that same idea. Prevention is better than repair. The rest of the world often chases performance upgrades, fancy parts, or quick fixes. But in Japan, the real secret is patience, a quiet kind of respect that turns ordinary cars into legends. That's why you'll find decades-old Civics, Crowns, and Pajeros still purring down Tokyo streets, not because of luck, but because of love. And maybe that's the ultimate lesson. If you care for your engine the way the Japanese do, it'll return the favor with years of flawless service. Not out of magic, but out of respect. Every small habit makes a big difference, and now you know the ones that matter most. If this helped you, tap that like button, subscribe for more smart car care tips, and drop a comment telling me which habit surprised you the most.